sustainable demand for local and international.
Kapihan sa DA exhibits and sells Liberica, Barako, Arabica, and Robusta coffee. People can buy ground coffee or coffee beans at 300 to 600 pesos a kilo. Consumers can also enjoy served hot or cold coffee products priced at 45 to 60 pesos. Kapihan sa DA in Kadiwa store is open from 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon from Monday to Friday.
Dito na po kayo kuha ng coffee for your breakfast. Dito nyo din invite ang inyong friends for your merienda to perk you up para sa inyong mas productive na working day.
The Agriculture Department targets to make Mindanao the center or top producer of coffee in the country. Currently, coffee sourced from BARM, Northern Mindanao, Davao, and Sorsogon. Earlier, the DA and a private sector created a roadmap for coffee farming which aims to improve technical and boost capability skills of coffee farmers to go beyond 15% sufficiency level in coffee. Kalezal Pardilia for the Nation.
Starting Monday next week, mall hours in Metro Manila will be adjusted to 11 a.m. until 11 p.m. to alleviate heavier traffic jams this holiday season. Mall owners were also advised to only hold sales during weekends. As we hear more from Karen Villanda.
Every Christmas, Mirasol gives gifts to more than 20 individuals. That's why she now doubled her time to work for Christmas gift shopping.
Binabudget pa yung pang Christmas gift para sa mga inaanak. So umaano pa ngayon, tumatrabaho pa para mas makaipon ng pang regalo sa pamilya, sa inaanak.
Like Mirasol, a heavy influx of shoppers is expected for this year's Christmas rush. That's why starting Monday, adjusted mall hours will take effect in Metro Manila to prepare for the expected 10 to 15% addition to the 400,000 motorists per day on EDSA. From November 14 to January 6 next year, weekday mall hours begin at 11 o'clock in the morning and close at 11 p.m. Supermarkets inside malls are exempt from the adjusted mall hours. Mall-wide sales are limited to only every weekends. Malls are also obliged to submit a traffic management plan to the MMDA 2 weeks before a planned sale.
Una-una, sa public transport, yung mga empleyado po ng mga malls, imbis na nakikipagsiksikan sila during rush hour, maa-adjust po yung oras ng biyahe nila. Ganon din po yung mga mamimili, mga dala sasakyan, maa-adjust din po.
But in the meeting of the MMDA and mall operators today, mall operators are asking to implement the adjusted mall hours and other restrictions only at EDSA malls.
If we can consider po sana yung EDSA malls lang po kasi yun naman po talaga yung high volume of traffic. And when we look at the foot traffic, I don't know with the rest of the malls, no. The foot traffic kasi of the mall right now is technically nasa mga 60 to 70% pa lang. The malls in EDSA, yun po yung mga nasa mga 80% or 90% na.
Hence, the MMDA said,
alam naman po natin kahit na medyo nasa looban yung mall, pag nag-mall-wide sale po, tutukod yung traffic at mag-spill over po ito sa mga pangunahing lansangan natin. So, kaya po minabuti natin na i-include not only the malls along EDSA, pero pati rin po yung mga nasa looban. Pero as a concession nga po kanina, kung meron po silang request, we will consider it, we'll study it, and we'll decide on a case-to-case basis po.
one of the problems of mall operators have with the adjusted mall hours is their staff closing shop at 11 o'clock at night and leaving thereafter. The EDSA bus carousel operates 24 hours, 7 days a week, but free rides are only up to 11 o'clock at night. According to the Transportation Department, they are still studying if the department has enough funds for extending the hours of free rides. Karen Villanda for The Nation.
Malacanang says President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is set to sign an executive order reserving idle government lands for housing projects. The details follow some important messages. Stay tuned.
Sa paglipanan ng maling balita, dito ka na sa Subok at Totoo. Kumpletong pagtatalakay sa mga usaping pambayan at mga programa ng pamahalaan. Dito nyo malalaman. Samahan ang veteranong mamamahayag na si Aljo Bendijo sa Public Briefing. #Laging Handa PH. Lunes hanggang Biyernes sa PTV. Ang dating One Health Pass ngayon ay e-arrival card na. Ang e-arrival card ay online health declaration at contact tracing platform para sa lahat ng inbound travelers sa Pilipinas. Bahagi ito ng pag-iingat laban sa pagkalat ng COVID-19 at iba pang infectious diseases. At upang bigyan din ng maginhawang paglalakbay ang mga turista at mga nagbabalik na Pilipino, pwedeng mag-register sa One Health Pass official website para sa inyong e-arrival card sa loob ng 3 araw bago ang inyong departure flight. Pwede rin naman sa inyong pagdating gamit ang Scan and Go system sa mga airport at pantalan. I-print o i-screenshot lamang ang inyong personal QR code at i-present ito sa quarantine officer sa inyong pagdating. Tandaan, ang e-arrival card ay libre at hindi nangangailangan ng bayad. Mabuhay at maligayang pagdating sa Pilipinas, mga biyahero. Isang mensahe mula sa inyong People's Television. Disaster Watch. Alamin ang mga dapat ilagay sa go bag bilang paghahanda sa anumang sakuna. Maglagay ng tubig na maiinom at mga pagkaing hindi madaling masira. Maglaan ng espasyo para sa first aid kit at survival kit para sa mga hindi inaasahang pangyayari. Huwag kalimutan ang toiletries para mapanatili ang kalinisan sa katawan. Samahan din ang mga damit at beddings na magtatagal ng ilang araw. At para ligtas at may alam, magdala ng personal protective equipment at mga teknikal na gamit. Sa panahon ng kalamidad, dapat laging listo.
Patid sa inyo mga konkretong impormasyon at serbisyong may aksyon.
At muli, ang tunay na malasakit ay laging at work.
Sa pabago-bagong panahon, maging listo dahil ligtas ang may info.
Balanseng balitaan at napapanahong talakayan. Sentro Balita. Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 1:00 ng hapon. Sa PTV.
Ano? Ako ceritain lebih lengkap ya tentang mitos ini. Indah.
Beasts of Asia Season 2. A production of EBS Korea, the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union, and the People's Television Network. Disaster Watch. Mga dapat tandaan pagkatapos ng lindol. Pagkatapos ng pagyanig, lumabas ng maayos. Huwag gamitin ang elevator. Suriin ang sarili at mga kasamahan kung may natamong sugat. Patayin ang main switch ng kuryente at tubig. Pati na rin ang tangking LPG. Makinig sa balita at maghanda sa mga posibleng aftershock. Huwag malito. Dapat laging listo.
For the unlimited na talakayang pambayan, dito natin yan pag-uusapan. Ang inspiring stories nyo, i-flex namin yan.
Dahil dito sa Schoolmates, deserve nyong mapakinggan.
Patuloy na maglilingkod sa bayan at kabataan. Is Schoolmates tuwing Webes ng gabi sa PTV. Roadwatch, iwas disgrasya tips sa kalsada. Eyes on the road, kaibigan. Ayon sa Republic Act 10913 o Anti-Distracted Driving Act, mahigpit na ipinagbabawal ang paggamit ng cellphone o anumang gadget habang nagmamaneho. Ibig sabihin nito, bawal tumanggap ng tawag, mag-text, maglaro, mag-compute, magbasa, at mag-internet kapag hawak ang manibela. Siguruhin ang cellphone ay nakalagay sa safe zone ng sasakyan at hindi nakasasagabal sa line of sight mo habang nagmamaneho. Gumamit ng hands-free function. At kung gagamit ng Google Maps o Waze, iset muna ang destinasyon bago magbiyahe. Pwede lamang gumamit ng cellphone kung may emergency sa daan at kailangan tumawag sa kinauukulan. Hindi biro ang parusa sa mga lalabag sa batas, kaya sumunod sa lahat ng oras. Kapag buhay ang nakataya, dapat listo sa kalsada. Roadwatch, hatid ng inyong PTV. Disaster Watch. Alamin ang Modified Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal System para sa mga paparating na bagyo. Signal number 1. Isa itong tropical depression na nagtataglay ng bahagyang lakas ng hangin at tatama sa loob ng 1.5 araw. Posible itong makadulot ng pinsala. Walang pasok ang mga bata sa preschool. Signal number 2. Ito ay tinatawag na tropical storm na may dalang katamtamang lakas ng hangin at posibleng tumama sa loob ng 24 oras. Pinapayuhan ng lahat na isecure ang kanilang mga bahay at kagamitan at huwag na munang maglakbay. Wala ring pasok ang mga mag-aaral mula sa preschool hanggang high school. Signal number 3. Ito ay severe tropical storm na posibleng tumama sa loob ng 18 oras. Pinapayuhan ang mga residente na lumikas sa mabababang lugar, baybayin at tabing ilog at maghanda sa pagkawala ng kuryente at komunikasyon. Walang pasok sa lahat ng antas ng edukasyon. Signal number 4. Ito ay isang ganap na typhoon na maaaring tumama sa loob ng 12 oras at nagtataglay ng napakalakas na hangin. Dapat manatili muna sa bahay at lumikas mula sa mga mapanganib na lugar. Signal number 5. Ito ay isang super typhoon na nagtataglay ng napakalakas na hangin at posibleng magdulot ng malawakang pinsala. Manatili sa loob ng matibay na gusali at mag-monitor sa mga weather update para sa inyong kaligtasan. Sa panahon ng bagyo, dapat laging listo.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. will sign an executive order reserving idle government lands for housing projects. Malacanang says the EO to be signed by the chief executive will ensure the implementation of Section 24 of RA 11201, which orders concerned agencies to identify idle lands that belong to the government, which are suitable for future housing and rural development projects. Under the RA, the DHSUD, DENR, DILG, and LRA are all tasked to identify lands that are more than 16,000 hectares to be used for socialized housing.
With the reenactment bogey etched in every lawmaker's mind in both chambers of Congress, expect little, if any, in the numbers from the Senate committee level hearings to change, especially with yesterday's sound bites from the Senate President hinting on certain dates for the plenary and BICAM to complete. Our Daniel Malalastas has the full report on the kickoff of the Senate plenary debates on next year's budget.
Senate Committee on Finance Chairperson Sonny Angara has sponsored the 5.268 trillion pesos 2023 proposed national budget in the plenary. The Senate has started discussing the proposed national expenditure program after discussing it at the committee level, even though it was session break last month.
But these are not the only factors that move the needle of spending. Macropolitical and other exigent conditions can also cause tectonic shifts in our fiscal positions. Some, like calamities, man-made and natural, often butt in the middle of the budget season unannounced, leaving bills which put a squeeze into an already tight budget. For next year, we can call these three other P's: pandemic, Putin, and Paeng.
Angara admitted it is not easy to change the structure of the economy, especially since there are many challenges faced. That's why he said the unity that was first shown by the Marcos administration was important.
Realizing the agenda for prosperity that the executive has proposed demands that we are cognizant of these challenges and more. Only when we recognize that these systemic difficulties need nothing less than a whole-of-nation approach will we be able to achieve any headway.
The senator confirmed in the Senate version the additional budget for the Quick Response Fund. He also said there is a realigned fund for the Department of Transportation to support the social component of the PUV modernization program. On the pandemic response, Angara assured there is fund for the vaccine against COVID-19 and other emerging diseases. The fund for the rehabilitation of airports and network development program of DPWH for road widening projects was also increased. He said the Senate also added to support the 16 regional offices of the Tourism Department. Meanwhile, there are also additions to the Department of National Defense, among others. Senator Ronald De La Rosa confirmed that he and the senators discussed the confidential funds matter.
Basta napag-usapan namin kahapon sa caucus namin tungkol dyan. Let the Senate President tell you or the Finance Committee Chairman announce that dahil nakikinig lang po doon.
Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri first assured that there will be no reenacted budget for the 2023. Daniel Manalastas for The Nation.
A group of public school mentors seeks greater clarification and enlightenment on the letter and spirit of Executive Order 49, barring, among others, school faculty to post messages on social media and engage with their pupils or students. Our Kenneth Paciente tells us more on the DepEd's pushback belying the claims. Such provision seeks to silence teachers and goes against one's right to free speech.
The Teachers Dignity Coalition welcomes Department Order Number 49 that seeks to strengthen professionalism among DepEd personnel. But the group would like to clarify some provisions of such order, including discouraging teachers from posting on social media any criticism that disgraces DepEd workers, because they said this is an infringement on freedom of expression.
Alam naman natin na marami tayong mga issues sa DepEd and most of them are valid na mga criticisms, constructive na criticisms, legitimate mga issues na kung minsan dahil sobrang laki ng DepEd having 1 million employees, siyempre hindi natin maiiwasan na lumalabas yan sa social media.
The group also objected to the provision preventing teachers and students from having a deeper relationship.
Tinuturing yung teacher sa second parent, ate, kuya, kaibigan, and in fact yun yung dahilan kung bakit maraming batang nai-inspire mag-aral.
The DepEd clarified the order is an amendment of the previous department order issued by the DepEd, and this DO has no bad intentions. It clarified that it doesn't prevent the relationship of the teacher and the student totally, but it just wants to set a boundary.
Ano po ba yung gusto nating ma-discourage dito? Yung nagiging very personal na yung relationship between the teacher and the learner. And I don't think that's unnatural. Why? Because there has to be a line.
POA insists that the DO is not intended to suppress anyone's freedom of speech.
It's really more of a reiteration, no? Bakit ba? Kasi ang ating mga guro, for example, they are role models. I think we all agree that they are all role models. And as role models, syempre po, they should act professionally, and aside from that, they should always uphold the honor of DepEd in general.
Other teachers agree with this.
Para maiwasan ang ilan sa mga usapin na hindi naman related sa aming trabaho.
Hindi rin dapat nagte-text ng mga kung ano-ano, lalo na kung hindi naman din walang kinalaman sa mga pag-aaral ng mga mag-aaral.
Kenneth Paciente for The Nation.
U.S. stocks extend gains on Tuesday as investors focus on the midterm elections. Dow Jones jumped by 1.31%, while S&P 500 and NASDAQ gained almost 1%. Republicans are favored to win a majority in the House of Representatives and the Senate, raising possibilities that Republicans will hinder Democratic President Joe Biden's agenda.
Oil prices fell as COVID-19 outbreaks in China sparked fears of lower fuel demand. Brent crude dropped by 0.68% to $97.25 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude fell almost 1% to $90.89 a barrel. Amidst rising cases, China reaffirmed its commitment to its strict zero COVID policy, causing fuel demand outlook to drop.
More than 100 companies from different countries, including the Philippines, took part in the China International Import Expo in Shanghai to promote their products to the world's largest market. PTV's Bea Bernardo covered the buying event in the global financial hub, and she filed this report.
Despite the threats of COVID-19, the 5th China International Import Expo in Shanghai is now open. Featured in the said expo are products from different countries, from famous foods to the most modern technology of big companies. CIIE is known as the world's first dedicated import expo. It aims to introduce products and services from other countries to the Chinese market.
China remains committed to the fundamental national policy of opening up to the outside world, pursues a mutually beneficial strategy of opening up, and adheres to the right course of economic globalization.
This year, more than 140 countries and companies participated in the expo, including the Philippines. Some of the products from our country are bananas, buko, and coffee. They also have sardines and sauces. 62 MSMEs in the country participate in the said expo.
China right now is our #1 trading partner for the Philippines. Very important. Last year, we traded around $38 billion worth of products with China.
Sanjeev Plantation is one of this year's exhibitors. Banana is one of their most proud products from North Cotabato.
But if you say banana from the Philippines, talaga yun yung impression ng mga consumers dito sa China.
Aside from agriculture and food products, the DTI hopes that the Philippines will be able to export to China non-food products such as creatives, furniture, and accessories. Bea Bernardo for The Nation, Shanghai, China.
And here are the results of tonight's multi-million peso lotto draws from the PCSO.
Good evening, Lotto players. For those who missed our draws today, November 8, 2022, I will be doing a recap of our winning numbers. Starting off with the results of our 2 p.m. draw. For the 2D Lotto, we have 15 and 1 in exact order. Sa 3D Lotto, the numbers are 3, 7, and 9 in exact order. And the results of our 5 p.m. draw for the 2D Lotto, the winning combination is 8 and 24 in exact order. For the 3D Lotto, we have 6, 9, and 1 in exact order. And finally, the results of our 9 p.m. draw for our 2D Lotto, the winning numbers are 16 and 7 in exact order. For the 3D Lotto, we have 8, 4, and 9 in exact order. And for our 6D Lotto, the winning combination is 7, 0, 9, 2, 4, and 9 in exact order. At para naman sa ating Lotto 642 in any order, we have the numbers 9, 6, 29, 7, 5, and 19 with the jackpot prize of 5,940,000 pesos net of the agent's prize commission. Sa Super Lotto 649 in any order, we have 49, 7, 41, 10, 15, and 25 with the jackpot prize of 24,838,726 pesos and 80 centavos net of the agent's prize commission. At para sa ating Ultra Lotto 658, again in any order, we have 18, 5, 49, 2, 53, and 48 with our jackpot prize of 203,672,278 pesos and 80 centavos net of the agent's prize commission. Okay, doon po sa mga nagtatanong kung may jackpot winners ba tayo tonight. Ayon po sa PCS sa Data Center, sa ating Ultra Lotto 658, we have no winner. Sa Super Lotto 649, wala tayong nanalo. At sa Lotto 642, we have 2 jackpot winners. Congratulations po sa inyo. Okay, that's all for tonight. Para po sa PCSO Lottery Draw Recap, ako po si Jas. 'r. 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 'r.
Pag-asa says the shear line will affect the weather conditions over the eastern sections of Luzon. Based on Pag-asa's latest update, due to the said weather system and easterlies, there will be cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms in Batanes, Cagayan, Isabela, Quirino, Aurora, Quezon, Camarines provinces, and Catanduanes. Meanwhile, Metro Manila and the rest of the country will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms due to the easterlies and localized thunderstorms. And let's now find out what the weather will be like in key Philippine and Asian cities.
Several House Solons had their own suggestions on a possible solution to the widespread corruption in the country's jail facilities. Some suggested a thorough lifestyle check of jail officials, while one actually suggested the return of the death penalty. Bella Lismoras returns with the details.
With the House of Representatives' resumption of session, one of the resolutions that the lawmakers adopted recently was the House Resolution number 489, strongly condemning the senseless killing of veteran broadcaster Percy Lapid. The crime dug up several societal issues like that of the country's prison facilities, which some lawmakers wanted to respond to. One of this is through the revival of death penalty to reform the prison system in the Philippines. According to Manila 6th District Representative Benny Abante, once enacted, its reinstitutionalization will contribute to efforts to address corruption in prisons and strengthen our vulnerable penal system. Although the government is currently doing everything it can, Congressman Abante said the death penalty is the permanent solution, so the sooner it will be reimposed, the better. In a separate statement, House Deputy Minority Leader Franz Castro also called for the lifestyle check of the officials of the Bureau of Corrections, with also a thorough investigation on the current situation at the new Bilibid prison. Mela Lesmoras for The Nation.
Former top cop and ex-Bucor Chief Senator Ronald De La Rosa pushed back on all speculation and attempts to link the former president as a person of interest in the ongoing Percy Lapid Mabasa slay probe. De La Rosa quickly came to the defense of former President Rodrigo Duterte, whom many in the public domain have hinted or tried to connect the dots and bridge the degree of separation between him and the prime suspect, suspended Bucor Chief Gerald Bantag, in the slaying of the former radio op-ed firebrand. The senator also urged General Bantag, who is at large and yet to be charged, to step up to the plate and prove his innocence. The former president has been floated as a person of interest given his being a frequent target of Percy Lapid's attacks in his radio broadcasts.
Mahirap yung maghamon ng Estado. You don't have to challenge the state. Mahirap yun. Wala talaga. Kung gusto mong panindigan yung pananalita mong ganyan, kung kasama siya doon sa 160, then kinikonsider din siya. Pero bakit pa niya patayin si... Nag-retire ka na, umalis, hindi ka na presidente. Bakit hindi mo pinatay nung ikaw presidente pa? Nakaya mo na lahat-lahat. At saka pwede mong patayin talaga using all your powers. Ngayon pa na wala ka na sa poder, saka ka pa magka-interest ng tao. For what? Ayaw mo masira yung political career mo na tinitira ka. Ano pang career na pinag-usapan dyan? Retired ka na nga eh. Ano pa maging motive mo? So, motive is malayo.
Opposition Senator Risa Hontiveros seeks to get to the bottom of the European Maritime Safety Agency's ultimatum last week to the Philippine maritime industry to update its training policies and curriculum at par with EU standards. At risk, should the EMSA make good on its threat, are roughly 50,000 maritime jobs Filipino seafarers working for European shipping companies could lose eventually. The EMSA has repeatedly called out the country and its maritime industry officials to upgrade our seafarers' competencies since 2006 and to no avail allegedly. Senator Hontiveros has introduced Senate Resolution 279 seeking a probe on the alleged failure of the country to level up the skills and competencies of its seafarers per claims and the latest ultimatum by the EMSA. Likewise, the senator added it is high time for Congress to enact a Magna Carta for homegrown seafarers regarded as among the best in the world.
The Maritime Industry Authority clarified the issue hounding the European Maritime Safety Agency's evaluation of the country's maritime system. Meanwhile, a lawmaker filed a resolution for the conduct of a probe after fears of an impending ban on Filipino seafarers caused wide panic. Rod Lagusad filed this report.
The last deployment of Joel as seafarer was in 2020 before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and now he is trying to get a job again on a ship. Joel said that he has been working as a seafarer for the past 22 years and he has been part of a European company. He believes that the Philippines can pass the evaluation of the European Maritime Safety Agency or EMSA.
Ang Pilipino na seafarer is very talented about sa ganyan. Ang mga Pilipino naman na seafarer is brilliant at saka matatalino. Ang mga nga natin, yung mga certificate, ang dami.
But for an official from a manning agency in the maritime industry, the situation is worrying. He said that the loss would be huge if the countries fail in the evaluation.
It will be a very, very big impact kasi imagine 50,000 ang mawawalan ng trabaho. At kung tatingnan natin in terms of remittance, and hindi lang yun ang epekto, kundi epekto rin ng yung mga government contributions namin, lahat kami ceiling ang binabayad. Plus the fact na maraming mga businesses around us na talagang maaapektuhan.
He hoped that the government would focus on this, most especially that many would be affected by it. Earlier, the Maritime Industry Authority or Marina clarified that the Philippines did not fail in EMSA's evaluation because it will just be decided next year if the country will pass or not. Marina has passed the necessary documents relating to the deficiencies found in the Philippine system in 2020 last March. Rod Lagusad for the Nation.
The thousands of wannabe lawyers seeking to clear the last big hurdle to their dreams can be assured of safety and security when they take their bar examinations on their scheduled November dates. Some 500 cops are to be deployed in the 5 bar examination sites to provide security to the examinees, extend traffic control support, contain and manage any civil disturbance, and for immediate contingency or emergency response, NCRPO Chief Janelle Estomo said. The 5 examination sites where 500 cops will provide heightened security are De La Salle University in Manila, San Beda University in Manila, the Manila Adventist College in Pasay City, the UP Bonifacio Global City Campus in Taguig, and the Ateneo de Manila University in Quezon City. A number of surface streets will be closed to road traffic, such as Estrada Street on Taft Avenue North and South, Fidel and Noli Streets, Concepcion Aguila and Mendiola Streets from CM Recto Avenue for San Beda, and San Juan Corner, Donada up to Laverisa Street for Manila Adventist College. All deployed PNP personnel at these locations are tasked to enforce the minimum public health protocols.
Government's anti-insurgency campaign has gained significant headway thanks to a multi-agency, whole-of-nation approach and with guidance from the NTF-LCAC's peace agenda. The latest military claim has the number of rebel guerrillas fronts down to 5 active from a remaining 24, as we hear more from our Patrick De Jesus.
CPP-NPA-NDF presence remains to weaken, according to the Armed Forces of the Philippines. From 84 guerrilla fronts in 2018, the communist rebel group significantly decreased to 24 as of latest report, but only 5 are still active, with the remaining fronts continuing to diminish.
The remaining 19, they are now classified as weekend, so we expect them to be dismantled within a short period of time. So right now, our focus right now is in the area where these 5 active guerrilla fronts are thriving. These are in Samar and in Cotabato.
The AFP believes that eradicating the communist group will be easier with the current efforts of the government.
Nakikita naman natin na ang isang doon, kapag ito ay inactive or wala ng silbi, ay nawawala na lang na parang bula. Nakikita natin na basta tuloy-tuloy lang ang sinasagawang operasyon ng pamahalaan at ng mamamayan at patuloy po ang pagbin ng seguridad ng ating mga military at mga police at iba pang law enforcement body, nakikita na mawawala ng saysay ang mga mahihinang guerrilla fronts sa ito ng CPP-NP.
The AFP added that most high-ranking officials of the CPP-NPA are neutralized.
We are gaining a lot of accomplishment in terms of further reducing the capabilities of the enemy, particularly the insurgents. This come in the form of yung manpower nila, this come in the form of yung kanilang firearms, this come in the form of the resource generation.
Community support for the group has also weakened as they are being cleared from the presence of insurgency through the whole-of-nation approach initiated by different government agencies under the NTF-ELCA. Patrick De Jesus for The Nation.
The Bureau of Customs made the assurance that thousands of balikbayan boxes that have been stored at a warehouse in Bulacan will all be delivered safely to their rightful consignees. In fact, the Customs Bureau has already made successful deliveries to over 8,000 individuals. Luis Erispe has more.
Thousands of abandoned balikbayan boxes in a warehouse in Balagtas, Bulacan are seen on this video. These are the boxes left behind by different consolidators at the Port of Bureau of Customs for almost a year and now under the custody of the Association of Bidders. But because the Customs Bureau announced to the public that they will be delivering and handing the abandoned balikbayan boxes to their claimants for free, several consignees wanted to get their baggage on hand, which caused tension between the bidders and claimants. But the Bureau of Customs clarified there's no need to worry. These boxes will be claimed and delivered to them after inventory.
Naniniwala sila na meron din silang social responsibility to return back, to share the blessings, and to also help our kababayan. Sila po ay nakiisa sa Bureau of Customs. Binigyan po natin sa coordination po natin with ABBC na within 2 weeks time po,
BOC also reiterated that as a matter of fact, out of more than 4,000 balikbayan boxes, they have delivered more than 1,000 safely to the rightful consignees.
Naniniwala naman tayo na ang laman ng mga balikbayan boxes na to ay ayon sa regulasyon na ang laman nito ay mga household or mga personal effects ng mga kababayan natin at walang nakahalong ibang mga gamit na in commercial quantity. Ito po ay agad-agad na nire-release ng Bureau of Customs at hindi po ito kailangang buksan na.
But the BOC advised the OFWs to look for more reliable freight forwarders as they are closely coordinating with the Department of Migrant Workers to file a case against CMG, International Movers, Kabayan Island Express, and Allwin, which caused the delay in the delivery of these boxes.
Humanap po sila ng reliable, yung mapagkakatiwalaan na kumpanya para yung pong pinaghirapan natin na balikbayan boxes ay makarating talaga sa ating mga tahanan.
Luisa Erispe for The Nation.
Rare natural occurrences like a total and partial lunar eclipse happened earlier tonight and was observable for several hours, much to the delight of enthusiasts and experts in the field. Ryan Lasigas tells us more.
It was 5:19 this afternoon when the lunar eclipse began. Totality of the blood moon happened at 6:59 p.m. The astronomical phenomenon was seen all over the country with or without a telescope.
Ang kagandahan po nito, weather permitting, ay ito po ay medyo matagal ang ating makikita. Mga more than 1 hour, 1 hour 25 minutes and 42 seconds. Ang nasa ating blood moon o total lunar eclipse ay masasaksihan din sa Asia, sa Australia, North America, parts of Northern and Eastern Europe, and most of the South America.
A lunar eclipse happens when the sun and moon are on exact opposite sides of the earth. Lunar eclipse happens every full moon twice a year. Total lunar eclipse is called blood moon because the moon becomes red. This happens because shorter wavelengths of blue and violet colored light from the sun are distributed through the atmosphere. The longer wavelength, red and orange, are filtered and reflected in the atmosphere which hit the moon. In addition to the total lunar eclipse, the planet Uranus will also be witnessed passing over the northern Luzon behind the moon while the eclipse is taking place.
Tatagal ng 17 minutes and 51 seconds. As you can see, magkakaroon ng disappearance at 7:51 7:43 seconds. 7:15, nasa loob siya ng ating buwan. At magre-reappear siya at 7:25. It will take 17 minutes and 51 seconds. The more na ikaw ay napupunta sa norte, especially Basco Batanes, the more na mas mahaba ang kanyang occultation.
May 26, 2021 was the last total lunar eclipse in the country, while the next one is on September 8, 2025. Ryan Lisiges for The Nation.
In news overseas, millions of Americans head to the polls to cast ballots in the country's midterm elections. In the meantime, Ukrainians prepare for a winter with no power or water following Russia's attack on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. These and other developments across the seas in tonight's Foreign News Roundup by Meg Luna.
It's election day in the United States. The balance of power in the U.S. Congress is at stake as millions of American voters head to the polls to cast their votes and decide whether the Democrats continue to hold the majority in the Senate or the Republicans take both. It's either delivering a boost for President Joe Biden's presidency or a nearly total power grab by the Republicans. 435 seats are up for grabs in the House of Representatives with 35 in the Senate. More than 42 million people have already cast their ballots in early voting. In Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, residents are preparing for the worst this winter amid lack of electricity, water, or heat supplies after Russia targeted Ukraine's energy infrastructure the past few weeks. According to Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko, hourly rotating blackouts were scheduled in parts of the city and the surrounding region to at least prolong remaining supplies. The capital city is also planning to deploy about 1,000 heating points, but noted this may not be enough for a city of 3 million people. Meanwhile, 9 lions that have become victims of the war in Ukraine found new life in the U.S. These wild animals that suffered from constant shelling and lack of electricity, food, and clean water were rescued from the Odessa Biopark Zoo and flown to safety in the middle of the war. Now, a new and happy life in Colorado awaits them. Meg Luna for The Nation.
Chocomucho Flying Titans head coach Oliver Almagro resigned today. In a statement issued by Robisco, the mother company of Chocomucho, it was stated that Almagro needs to focus on his responsibility with the Ateneo women's volleyball program. Because of this, Almagro's assistant coach Edjet Mabayad will take over as coach of Chocomucho. Almagro became the head mentor of the said team in 2019 and was able to steer the Flying Titans to 2 fourth places finishes during his 6th conference stint in the Premier Volleyball League. Chocomucho is currently sporting a 3-3 win-loss card in the PVL Reinforced Conference. In the meantime, here's a recap of today's lottery draws. For the 2 p.m. draw, the winning numbers for the 3D Lotto are 3, 7, 9, and 15-1 for 2D Lotto. For the 5 p.m. draw, the lucky numbers for the 3D Lotto are 6, 9, 1, and 824 for 2D Lotto. For the 9 p.m. draw, beginning with a 6D Lotto, the winning combination is 7, 0, 9, 2, 4, and 9, while the lucky numbers for the 3D Lotto are 8, 4, 9, and 16-7 for 2D Lotto. For the Lotto 642 with a jackpot prize of 5,940,000 pesos, the lucky numbers are 9, 6, 29, 7, 5, and 19. For the Super Lotto 649, the winning numbers are 49, 7, 41, 10, 15, and 25 for the jackpot prize of 24,838,726 pesos and 80 centavos. For the Ultra Lotto 658, the Mega Jump picked the numbers 18, 5, 49, 2, 53, and 48 with a jackpot prize of 203,672,278 pesos and 80 centavos. There are 2 winners for the Lotto 642, while no winners for the Super Lotto 649 and Ultra Lotto 658. Our words of wisdom for tonight comes from Annalise Marie Frank, or Anne Frank. She was a Jewish teenager known for her diary recounting her family's life in hiding during the Holocaust. She became a potent symbol of the Nazi genocide, which killed millions of Jews and non-Jews. And she once said, "Look at how a single candle can both defy and define the darkness."
There are only 47 days left before Christmas. So goes PTV News Tonight's roundup of tomorrow's headline stories. I'm Joey Gilas.
I'm Monique Tuzon. And I'm Sharms Espina. Join us again tomorrow here at PTV News Tonight.
Kapag lumilindol, mag-duck, cover and hold. Huminahon at humanap ng matibay na bagay na magsisilbing panangga sa posibleng pagbagsak ng debris. Magtago at protektahan ang sarili. Kumapit ng mahigpit at hintaying matapos ang pagyanig. Sa panahon ng kalamidad, dapat laging listo. Check out your dream machines with veteran journalist Ron De Los Reyes in one of the longest-running motoring shows on Philippine television. Auto Review, Saturday afternoons, only here on PTV. Health Watch, alertong pangkalusugan. Sa ilalim ng Republic Act 10152 o Mandatory Infants and Children Health Immunization Act of 2011, ang lahat ng bata mula 0 hanggang 5 taong gulang ay kinakailangan magpabakuna laban sa tuberculosis, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, polio, tigdas, beke, tigdas hangin, hepatitis B at influenza. Wala pong dahilan para mag-alala dahil libre, ligtas at mabisa ang lahat ng bakuna. Magtungo lamang sa inyong pinakamalapit na health center o pampublikong ospital. Huwag nang isugal ang kalusugan ng mga bata. Ipabakuna na sila ngayon na. Isang napapanahong paalala mula sa inyong PTV para sa bayan. Diskarteng pangkabuhayan ba ang hanap mo? Magnegosyo na sa agrikultura gamit ang makabagong kaalaman. Mag-agri tayo. Baki workshop na tuwing Sabado ng umaga. Dito sa katuwang nyo sa paghahanap buhay. PTV.
Susunod na programa ay rated PG. Ito ay nangangailangan ng patnubay at gabay ng magulang para sa mga batang manonood.
Order. Oh.
Thank you.
God bless America. It's the greatest nation in the world. You want me to say it again? Well, who are you with?
We're with Representative Robinson.
Do you mean to tell me you're doing something for once?
Yes, for once. Thanks.
You got to get to know me. I throw all kinds of swords and all that. That doesn't mean anything.
He does.
This actually happens very frequently. Korean war vets will come up to say,
oh my God, are you Korean? Well, Korea's an amazing country, and I was in Korea during the war.
The Korean veterans 4 times a year offer veterans to come there free of charge.
They talk about how appreciative Koreans are of their service, and I think that that's really important. But it's also weird because that's not an era that I grew up in at all, and I think of myself as being an American.
Your parents were from Korea.
No, I'm adopted.
Well, regardless, you still have Korea.
I am. I think there's sometimes an expectation for me to be really grateful. Being the first Korean American elected to the legislature here in Massachusetts, and I worried that I wasn't going to be representative enough of the experience that a lot of other non-adoptee Korean Americans had had.
Nice talking to you today.
Good to see you.
Okay, thank you.
Out. It's raining now, but in New England, if you just wait an hour, the weather's likely to change. So by noon, it'll be sunny, it'll be nice outside, so it'll be all right. I'm Maria Dwayne Robinson, and I'm a state representative in Massachusetts for the 6th Middlesex District, which is about 2/3 of the city of Framingham. Framingham has claimed Flag Day as our patriotic holiday.